Overcast skies across the area right now. Let's get a check of that weather impact alert for tomorrow. 6 o'clock in the morning through 11 a.m. That's going to be the window in which we have the best chance to see some strong to severe thunderstorms producing some heavy wind, some heavy rain, and inevitably there is going to be a low tornado potential. Let's dive into the details of what we're tracking. Level 2 risk of severe weather across almost all of the 5 News viewing area. The further south you go, the better ingredients starting to come together to support some stronger thunderstorms, and that does clip the southern third of LaFleur, and it tries to get into there, the southern portion of Scott County. For the most part, level 2 risk for a lot of the 5 News viewing area. But let's dive into the details of what that actually means hazard by hazard. We'll start on the left side of your screen here. This is going to be overall our tornado potential. Brown here, this is going to be our low risk. That's generally found north of Interstate 40, but it's not necessarily zero. Don't equate low to zero because that's not the case at all. Now you get south of I-40, a little bit better ingredients trying to come together, and we'll keep that in the elevated category for a tornado potential. Now, when it comes to hail, we're all in the low category. Wouldn't rule it out, but if we do see hail, it's probably going to be less than an inch in diameter. It's a possibility. I'll tell you, this storm that's coming through tomorrow is more than likely going to be a heavy, high wind producer. That's the primary hazard that I think we're most likely to see. It's a squall line. It's a long line of thunderstorms spanning north to south. This is 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Expect the worst of it to be just to the west of our viewing area. Keep in mind, this is just a model. It could be off an hour late. It could be an hour early. General timeline, though, 6 to 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. Here it comes, crossing that Oklahoma-Arkansas state line. Widespread heavy rain. Watch for some pockets of really heavy rain embedded with some high winds likely coming out of this, 60, perhaps as high as 70 miles per hour. Now, on the leading edge of that line, you'll want to watch for some spin-up tornadoes. We call these QLCS tornadoes. Overall, the ingredients aren't all there. There's a lot of wind shear, but there's lacking storm fuel. We don't have as much storm fuel as what you would think you would need for a widespread event, which is good news. We consider that really, really good news. This is going to be 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. The worst of it is pushed off to our east, rain starting to taper off in the River Valley, and then we'll have to watch the afternoon hours for a few additional showers, maybe a clap of thunder with that system. But most interestingly, on the backside, as that low pulls around, it's going to swing us some colder temperatures, a little bit of moisture trying to get squeezed out, and we very well could see a burst of some light snow. That's probably going to be late tomorrow night into early Wednesday morning. Generally speaking, north of Interstate 40, little to no accumulation. The ground's been pretty warm the last several days. A lot of it would probably melt off upon contact. Winds out there right now out of the south, 10 to 15 miles per hour. It's been breezy today, but tomorrow likely going to be much windier. There's a lot of tan on this map, which represents a wind advisory. It's in effect for the entire area through Wednesday at noon. There goes the line of storms, 9:30 in the morning. Very well could see gusts in of itself in that line of storms, 60 to 70 miles per hour. But then on the backside, as we get that deepening area of low pressure to pull through, our winds are going to be non-thunderstorm winds. So we're talking just average old winds out there, a lot like today, just stronger, gusting as high as 40, perhaps as high as 50 miles per hour. This is going to be 3 o'clock Wednesday morning, so that continues into the overnight hours. Winds will be shifting initially out of the south, but on the backside of that low, out of the northwest, as it begins to pull away, that's where we start to get those cooler temperatures. So it's certainly going to be very windy tomorrow and through Wednesday as well. So we've got a lot to track. We've got severe weather, the potential for some flash flooding, and a lot of wind out there. Temperatures behind this system going to be a little bit cooler. We'll struggle to get into the upper 40s come Wednesday, rebounding nicely the second half of the week, back in the upper 60s by Friday. Another front tries to push through Saturday, bringing with it a slight chance of rain, followed by some cooler temperatures. Big story, though, is going to be tomorrow. That's your weather impact alert. Your commute to work and school tomorrow morning is probably going to take you a little bit longer than it often does, just given the fact that we're looking at heavy rain and some thunderstorms, a few of which are likely going to be severe. We'll have the team here tracking those. We'll have the storm chaser out on the roads as well, keeping an eye on things. But to keep in mind that those winds are going to continue most of the afternoon, evening into Wednesday. So, Darren, I hate to say it, but I think there's probably a power outage or two in the mix tomorrow. The question just becomes where. And I'll tell you, north of Interstate 40, closer to that area of low pressure. Probably where we'll see the highest winds. The other thing to keep in mind, that not as if we needed one more thing, insult to injury, this is a really strong area of low pressure, and a lot of people that can feel it coming, they'll tell you, hey, I can feel it coming in their joints. They're probably experiencing a little pain tonight and tomorrow. That'll get better by, let's say, Wednesday evening.
And then there's snow flurries possible.
Oh my gosh, can you believe it?
Who ever thought? My goodness.
Busy, busy, busy.
All right.